You know what? I'm looking at this. I'm not seeing anything. It's caps on.
Oh, yeah. Okay, can you introduce yourself?
Marguerite, they didn't do you right.
Okay, wait a minute.
Excuse me.
I just want my Marguerite cousin. Most of the people here are related. I don't know how many are here, but two sisters, twin sisters, married two brothers.
What were their names?
Vincent DiGiorno and my father was Donato.
Okay.
That's where the Donatos come from.
Right. And who did they marry? What were their names?
My father, Donato, married Rosie, and Uncle Vincent married Aunt Mary.
What was their last name?
Sandora.
And when was?
What year?
Yeah, around what year?
Probably about 1990.
1890?
Yeah.
1890?
How you doing, Dad?
Okay. Yeah.
And,
You have a big family now.
yeah. You want me to come to you? I couldn't tell you how many. That's right.
Yeah, good.
Maybe mine, because maybe
I know
I
the
will tell
feeling.
you how many.
Okay.
I know the
You want me to
feeling.
get her?
I'll get her. Okay. And do you get together often?
Well, now that we're older, but yeah, lots of times we go to the same weddings and whatever.
And how many people would you say are usually all together in these formal occasions?
Maybe 100 or more.
Okay, that's great.
He was still there, and I was there the last one, and he was still down the end.
Molly was there.
Can I ask some of you to tell me what it means for you to be Italian American? Just whatever comes to your head.
Go ahead. You would tell my
State your name. State your name if you would.
Danny DiGiorno,
Okay,
and I'm excited and very happy to be an Italian American.
that's great. And how does being Italian American manifest itself in your life? Like, what does that mean for you? You know, being Italian American, what does that mean day to day for you?
Nothing other than just being a very proud individual.
Okay, great. Thank
I
you.
wouldn't want to be anything else.
Okay, I'm with you on that. Great. May I go around? Do you mind? Can I go around?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Do you mind stating? Can you state your name?
My name is Antoinette DiGiorno.
Okay.
I married into this lovely family.
Okay.
And I'm,
That's right. That's right.
and I'm very happy to be part of it. They're very wonderful, warm-hearted people.
Okay.
And as far as the Italian part of it, I think I like the food the best.
Okay. That's great. That's great. Very understandable. How about you, sir? Can you state your name?
Joe DiGiorno.
Okay.
Proud to be an Italian. And my Italian background has pushed me to watch the Italian athletes.
Okay.
Baseball, football, basketball.
Okay.
They're the only ones I'm interested in.
Okay.
And like my sister-in-law said, I love the food. Pasta fazool.
Excellent. A classic.
Okay.
Great. Thank you. Just call me over if there's something else you want to say, any of you. How about you, sir? Your name?
Julius Gross.
Okay. 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 And what does being Italian American mean to you?
I wouldn't want to be anything else.
Okay.
Dad, say your real name.
Joseph Rubino.
Joseph Rubino. Okay. And you are the father of?
3 girls.
Okay.
Janet, Jackie, and June.
Okay, Janet. And how about you? What does being Italian American mean to you?
It makes me very proud.
Okay.
Makes me very proud to be Italian American.
Okay.
And though I like all different groups of people, I'm proud to be what I am.
Of course, your own identity. And would you say, now you grew up, did you grow up in Montclair? And would you say that your, like our generation of young Italian Americans, was there a strong community when you were growing up and going to school and hanging out at school? Okay. And how did that, were you mostly Italian Americans together? And how was your, you know, social engagements and things like that? I mean, what did you all do?
We had I grew up with my friends, but I also hung out a lot with my cousins.
Okay.
And my cousins and myself, we all kind of infiltrated our friends into our group.
Okay.
So that's how we did it. But
Nice.
I'm real happy to be in the family I am because my cousins, you know, we all have each other.
Right. Strong ties, yeah.
Very.
That's great. Thank you so much, Jackie. Okay, can you state your name?
I'm Pearl DiGeronimo.
Okay.
And I'm married to Joe DiGeronimo.
Okay.
I'm Italian. My father was from Sicily.
Wonderful.
And of course, my husband always kids about the Sicilians.
What does he say about Sicilians? Where's your husband from?
They're the worst.
Oh, that's what he says,
They're
huh?
the worst.
Where's he from?
But he knows differently. His father they were from Macedonia.
Okay.
But my mother's Italian also. But I really learned the Italian real heritage after I became part of my husband's family.
That's nice.
All the holidays, the different ways they're celebrated.
Sure. The
Of course,
recipes.
family, you know, with the Italians, I will say my own family also.
My sister's in
Very,
that.
very close.
Right. It's very important.
But it's one of the best things I think to be an Italian.
I'm sure you're right. Thank you, Pearl. Thank you. Just a second. Okay, go ahead. Your name, please?
My name is Dolores DiGeronimo.
Okay.
Married to Mike Arminio. Children.
Okay. What are their names?
Leonora and Michael.
There's some of these, I forget the names. Like this,
Wonderful
they used to
daughter-in-law
live on that
Sally
street.
and
And
Gabe.
this is the Camargo.
Great-granddaughter Maria.
Okay.
I'm very, very proud to
You know
be
this guy is.
American.
What does that mean to you, being Italian American?
Come on, you know him. Look at him pretty good.
Like a,
Just makes me very
Atta boy, you got it. That's right.
grew up in a large family.
Where did you grow up?
Amadeo
In
Where?
Amadeo now.
Well, the first house I remember was Bloomfield Avenue, where two families, my mom and my aunt
right.
and twin sisters,
Okay.
and married
That's
brothers.
right.
Real?
Let's see.
And there
who
was
else?
27 of us in the house
Some
at
of them
one
come back
time.
and say,
28.
Go ahead.
And we didn't have much money, but we were really rich.
But that's how one like
It's wonderful.
1924.
He couldn't wait till he got out of there. I don't know how Mike Pistowski is still handling it because he is.
Hi, I'm Mary Ann Sakino, and I'm very proud to be Italian American because it's my heritage and because of the traditions, and it's just a good feeling to be attached to the country of Italy. It's so beautiful, and I really like everything about it.
Right. You have some special recipes that are Italian, don't you?
Yes, I do. We have many, many Italian recipes.
Right.
And I have some stories too. You want me to wait till I...
Sure, go ahead.
When
Absolutely.
we were kids, my grandmother and my great-grandmother,
Uh-huh.
my great-grandmother lived with my grandmother. We all lived in one building. It was a six-family.
Okay.
We all lived there. My grandmother lived on the first floor.
Where was this, Marianne? In Montclair?
At 10 Glenridge Avenue in Montclair.
Okay.
And my grandmother, my great-grandmother made the macaroni jingula, and we would watch them, and they would make homemade raviolis.
Okay.
And then they put a tablecloth on the bed, and they put the finished raviolis
Right.
on the bed. And my cousins and I would take the raviolis, steal them, and put them in the oven. It was a cast iron stove, so the oven was always hot.
Okay.
And they would bake like crunchy and
Oh, that's great. Do you still make them?
I have, yes. Not all the time, but I have made them.
Okay, okay.
And my grandfather used to go down the street to the Italian-American club. They would play a game. It's called Boston Zoo, Boston Under. And if you lost, you had to buy drinks. And he would come home on a Saturday night feeling good. Walking up the driveway, singing and everything. Of course, the windows were open and no air conditioning. We'd be all staying with my grandma, all the kids. And she'd call him Jerome, and he'd say to her, listen, I got him a rest. And we'd all giggle and laugh like cousins. And then one time we asked my grandmother what that was. Why'd you call him that? And she told us in the town we were on the hill. A man named Jerome used to go into town every Saturday on his donkey and get drunk. One Saturday night he'd come home, and the next morning he got him on the side of the road.
Oh my goodness.
Donkey kicked him in the head, he fell off.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. What was? Can you tell me again the name of the name of? Was it a drinking game that you're saying? What was the name of it?
Well, in America, it's called Boston Under. It's if you lost, you had to buy the drinks.
Okay.
They used to call it Boston Zone.
Boston Zone. Okay.
Where were you? I'm in the Cosmo, Di Geronimo Cosmo. I'm very proud to be an Italian American.
Okay. What does it mean for you to be Italian American?
I'm full of culture.
Yes. Absolutely.
Italian culture.
Sure.
Yes. And then we had we were two families living together.
Okay.
My mother was a twin.
Okay.
And our fathers were brothers.
Now, how many children did each of the did each couple have?
My mother had 15.
Okay.
And my Aunt Rose had 13.
Okay, okay.
And I had to put up with Molly all the time.
That's not true, is it?
And we had a nice, we had to move finally because the walls wouldn't expand anymore.
Now, where did you live? Do you remember the address?
Well, on Willowdale Avenue.
Okay.
And we started number 10, went to 12. And then
Started number 12, then went to 10.
Okay, 12 and then 10.
What do you mean it started at 10?
Well, house number 10.
Okay.
And then number 12 and then 10. And then we moved up to 46 Willowdale Avenue.
Okay. Okay.
And
You have any stories to share with us today?
the only one that comes to my mind, well, two of them.
Okay.
One is my sister Rachel, who when she was maybe 1.5, 2, 3 years old,
Okay.
would go out in the rain in this road all the time and play.
Really?
She'd play in the gutter.
Well, she was 1.5. You said.
We lived at one end of the block, and the butcher shop was down the other end.
Okay.
And he found her going into the sewer.
Oh my goodness.
He grabbed her out. Louis Caruso.
Oh wow. Who was it?
Louis Caruso.
Wow.
Pulled her out.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. And then what we did in the summer, I have to tell you.
Okay, please do.
We dumb kids would go up to the 3rd floor, the attic. Had wooden crates, and we'd play school.
Now this is at 12 Willowdale Avenue.
Number 46.
Oh, number 46. Okay.
Kids today don't and we used to play. We used to play house. That's all I could think of.
You used to play school.
Yeah.
Who was the teacher?
You forgot the time you made the Christmas tree fall at number 10.
Well,
Can you tell us that story? Go ahead.
No, I don't know, but she was in the room where the Christmas tree was.
well, they.
And all of a sudden it fell, but you did it.
Yeah,
How old were you?
I was like a stranger.
What's this? What's this? Oh, they're ratting on you. They're ratting on you.
And I would go, they would ask me to go under the tree because I was the stupid one and would go under.
Oh,
And one time the tree came down.
oh my goodness.
One other thing, okay. One other thing.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Our fathers were in the tailoring.
Okay. Did they have a shop in Montclair? Where was that? On Orange Road. Okay.
315 Orange.
315 Orange.
Okay. Thank you.
They
Okay.
would always bring clothes at night to deliver.
Yes.
on the way to work in the
Yes.
morning. And we had, there was Chris in one family and Danny in the other family.
Okay.
Who got into trouble all the time. And they stuck matches in that closet.
Oh my gosh.
And I had to tell them that Bingo was the baby. And I ran up and saved Bingo. Ran him out of the house.
Oh, thank
And
God.
I was in the Girl Scouts.
How old were you?
I think I was about 9, 10 years
No,
old.
you were that was in 46.
46, yeah.
1946.
Come on.
Come on.
I went up
I
to-
graduated from 46. That was 37. You're only a couple of years younger than I.
I know, Molly, but what got up
You
to...
must have been 15.
Mom, but you tell it!
My mother's uncle had a baker shop, and my mother's brother delivered bread to the DiGeronimos, and he was friends with their brothers, so he would deliver the bread and sit down and eat with them.
That's nice.
They were looking all over for Joe. Where was he to deliver the bread, and he was sitting eating with the DiGeronimos.
That's great. Okay, wait. Can you do that again? Go ahead.
As Italian American, I'm very proud of that. My parents were from this country, but their parents were from Italy.
Right. Avellino, okay.
Yes, they came from Abilene, and the Italians bring a lot of art, music, and good food to the country, and it was all brought back here. I remember my mother making raviolis, like they say, and making all kinds of desserts, and
what kind of desserts?
Before church, so that they would have it ready. They never made things the day before or whatever. And my mother was a lot in art. She was in music. She played the mandolin. She played the violin. She played down at Carnegie Hall with the Mandolin Society.
Really?
And she belonged to the Rosary before I did. And she found that very enlightening to be with the Rosarians and nice people, and mostly all of Italian heritage.
That's fabulous, yes.
I can say too that I have tried to do all the things that she did in the past and carry all those traditions to my family.
Okay, like what?
And
Like
to
what?
my daughters with the cooking,
the
music and the art, and
that's nice.
that kind of thing.
Okay.
And we're very proud to be Italian Americans. And my aunts that won many ribbons for painting.
Really?
In fact, one of my aunts right now has just won another ribbon in Caldwell for one of the big paintings that she made. And these were my mother's sisters.
And can we see these paintings?
Oh, sure. They're in hanging up in Caldwell Library.
No kidding? Oh, that's fabulous.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Edith Snow. And I don't know if you have ever seen them.
I haven't, but I will now that you've told me about them.
Hanging in my home.
Okay.
My daughter's homes. And so we really got involved with the Italian heritage kind of thing.
And the art.
My oldest aunt, who's now still living at 96, has done a lot of sculpturing and a lot of paintings. My younger aunt, who's 89, she did the watercoloring. My older aunt did the oil paintings.
And did they grow up in Montclair?
No, my aunt, they grew up in Bloomfield, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
And then my oldest aunt settled down in Mountain Lakes.
Okay.
She was married.
Okay.
And my other aunt in Roseland, and myself in Glen Ridge.
You in Glen Ridge.
Where my mother was.
Great.
My home next door to my mom.
Great.
So we have a lot of things to report.
Absolutely.
But I think I'll turn this over to someone.
Okay, thank you very much. Beautiful. Matilda, you are the local historian. Yes, don't be modest. Go ahead.
My name is Matilda de Valerio, and my parents were Italian immigrants. My mother came from Sicily.
Where in Sicily?
From the province of Enna.
Oh, beautiful, yes.
And my father came from Abruzzo.
Okay.
And they came in the early 1900s.
Okay.
And when Italian immigrants entered the United States at that period, there was a lot of prejudice.
Yes.
They were looked down upon. And the Italians were determined that they were going to prove their worth.
Right.
And they became involved. They worked hard. They made a little money. They were able to buy their own homes, many of them. They spread out in all fields, in music, in art,
Absolutely.
in all professions.
Right, right.
And I don't think the prejudice of the Italians is completely gone, but almost.
How do you feel about that? I mean, I hear some of you saying, yeah, I see some of you nodding, and as though you and your own families experienced some of that negativity. Would you say?
I think we all did.
How did it manifest itself?
Families did originally, but not anymore.
Right.
We proved our worth, and we're very proud that I'm an Italian
Yes.
American.
Yes, absolutely. Can you tell me a little bit about your family? So did you grow up in Montclair, Matilda?
No, I was a school teacher and I taught up in Denver.
Okay, okay.
35 years.
God bless you. It's fabulous. It's fabulous. And
But I love
and
it.
you've been here a long time, right? You've been in Montclair a while? Have you?
Lifelong, what's the word? Resident.
Great.
And my parish is Our Lady of Mount Carmel Church.
Yes,
and of
yes.
course I've been there since back day one.
Right. Uh-huh.
But all in all, we had great parents, most of us.
Yes, yes.
And I think we had pretty good lives. In spite of the Depression, in spite of World War II,
Yes.
Korean War.
May I ask you, yes, how was that, that period in World War II in Montclair?
Lots of
And for
great.
Italian Americans in Montclair at that time?
Well, Italian Americans had to give up their short-wave radios
Okay.
because a lot of them thought that Italians belonged to
The fascist party.
Fascists,
Okay.
and a lot of radios were actually confiscated
Really?
by
Now,
the FBI.
okay. Were there social or slash political groups to which Italian Americans belonged?
You mean at that time?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, there were.
Okay.
They had clubs. The Montclair Civic League was one.
And who belonged to that? Would you say it was pretty general? Was it a specific orientation
It was
or?
open to any Italian speaker.
Where did they meet? Do you remember?
They used to meet on Glenridge Avenue.
Beautiful. Okay.
Right near the corner of Pine Street and Glenridge Avenue.
Okay. Are there other groups that met around that time?
Oh, Lord, there were religious groups.
Yes,
Our
yes.
Lady of Mount Carmel
Okay.
Society.
Okay.
The Rosary Society.
Right.
Saint Sebastian.
Sure. Okay.
And my mother was one of the founders of the Women's Society of Saint Sebastian.
Really?
And then in 1986, we started it
Okay.
as a
Okay.
result of our parents having been involved.
Okay. Can you tell me, anyone around the table, can you tell me a little bit more about the time of World War II? If not directly, maybe what you had heard from family members and friends? I'm just out of curiosity. It's an interesting period for Italian Americans.
When
What were you going to mention?
Go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, well, perhaps, Molly, you can tell us a little bit later. Somebody said you remembered you couldn't get something? What was that?
Oh, butter.
You couldn't get butter. Okay.
Yeah, they rationed food.
Okay.
Gas was very, gas and sugar and
Sure.
a lot of things were,
Sure.
gas was rationed, you know.
Right. Sure. See, that's what I'm interested. I mean, for Italian Americans, it was a difficult time.
Right.
And I'm curious, if that manifested itself in your everyday lives.
He would like to talk.
Okay.
No, you go around.
Next, please, Mom.
Yes, Tom Russo. Yes. What does being Italian American mean to you? And what do you remember about your family? Any stories, family and friends?
Being an Italian American, to me, it's a very proud. I'm very proud to be
Right.
Italian American, especially that I became the first Italian American chief of police in the history of the township of Montclair.
That's fabulous. Yes.
Prior to me becoming appointed as chief of police, I was number 12. 11 of my the predecessors were all of Irish heritage. And, I want to make this perfectly clear at this point that The Irish are great people, and I married an Irish
Of
girl.
course, of course, of course. No, that's not in question.
And let me just tell you a quick story about what everyone's had trial and tribulations.
Absolutely,
in their life.
yes.
And I went through some trial and tribulations to become the first Italian-American chief of police.
Tell us about them.
My family was from a little town in Sicily called Cheddam. And as a result, we're known as Cheddamese.
Yes, yes.
Now, for a number of reasons, people apparently associate Sicily with organized crime, the mafia, and so on and so forth. And during the period that I was in competition to become the chief of police, there was a group of about 5 or 6 police officers.
Yes.
Who all happen to be of Irish heritage.
Okay.
And, they had an inkling that I had a good shot at being named chief of police.
Yes.
And they start passing around rumors around the department that I could never be the chief because I'm Sicilian heritage and I'm hooked up.
Which means, yes. Isn't that incredible? Yes. Now, Tom, about what year are we talking?
This was, I was appointed chief April 7th, 1993.
Wow. Very recent then, yes.
Yeah. But this was occurring around 1992 and into 1993.
Okay.
And one morning, I came to work, and one of the police officers came up to me, and they handed me a flyer.
Okay.
And it was during the time that John Gotti was being indicted and was being sent to prison. And there was a big article in the Star-Ledger which originally said, Gotti going to prison.
Right.
Well, this group of 5 or 6 individuals saw fit to change Gotti to Russo and imposed my picture on top of John Gotti's and put them into the police cars.
Yeah, that's terrible.
So this police officer came to show me, and I seen this flyer and it says Russo going to jail with my picture there. So he said, you know, not only are they in the police car, but there's one on the PBA bulletin board. So I went right downstairs and I looked, and here it was, right on the PBA bulletin board.
Yes.
Now, being a streetwise kid that I've always been, I immediately called for a police officer to come down and to stand guard at that bulletin board.
Okay.
And then I had it surrounded by yellow tape, crime scene tape. Then I called the detective in the identification bureau to come down. I had him take photographs of everything. I had him dust for fingerprints. When he was all done, I went up to the chief's office and I said to the chief, I said, Chief, I want everyone's fingerprints. He said, well, you can't do that. I said, what do you mean I can't do that? I said, I want everyone's fingerprints. He said, no. I said, I can't keep everyone's fingerprints. Now, I had just been a recent graduate of the FBI Academy in Quantico, Virginia. I graduated in 1991. So I told the chief, I said, Chief, listen, I just got off the telephone with Washington. He said, where? I said, Washington. I called the FBI headquarters in Washington. And I told him what's going on, and I told him that I have a number of latent prints, and that I need to get everyone's fingerprints. And they told me to get them and send them to Washington to the laboratory. He said, you called Washington? I said, I certainly did. So he gave me everyone's fingerprints. But the truth be known, I never called one.
Right.
But I had the chief believe that I had called Washington.
Oh my goodness.
And I had everyone's fingerprints.
You sneak.
On the job. And I don't know what I threw them in an ash can, but there was never another incident involving my heritage of being a Sicilian or an Italian American. And then subsequently I was named chief of police on April 7th, 1993.
And we're all very proud of that.
So we've all faced, trials and tribulations.
Absolutely.
And, that was one of the trials and tribulations that I went through to become the first Italian chief of police in Montclair.
Right. Thank you for sharing that. Can you tell us, were there many Italian Americans on the force?
Quite a few.
And what was their reaction to what was happening to you? What did you find in their reaction?
I tell you, outside of that group of 5 or 6, I had total support of the police department. I think they all were looking forward to me being named chief of police. So it was just a group, hardcore group of 5 or 6 police officers who 2 of them were in competition to become the chief.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Okay, can you state your name?
My name is Eleanor DiGeronimo.
Okay.
I'm married to Christopher, the brother.
Okay.
And I met him on a blind date when I was 17. And that was 55 years ago.
Oh, God bless you.
And he's a wonderful man. But I thought he won the war all by himself because he carried a gun, but he was in the medics.
Oh, okay.
In the Navy.
In the Navy, okay. Okay. Did he go to Italy at any point?
He went to Okinawa and he didn't learn how to swim in the Navy, so he had a rough time in the ocean swimming over.
Oh my goodness.
He's been a good husband, good father.
That's great.
I'm proud to be in the family.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So, that's wonderful. So I'm assuming you get along very well.
This is the matriarch of the family.
Oh, that's wonderful.
She has lots of stories.
Yeah, Molly, do you want to share any stories?
Molly cries.
Okay.
Oh, my poor husband.
This is a story that is funny every time I hear it. And I hear it.
Please, can you recount it? Please.
When she was dating her
I
husband.
can't swear in there.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. It's uncensored. Go ahead.
My husband was during the war. I graduated high school. I couldn't go elsewhere, so I got a job in a factory. And so my husband was supervisor. $15 a week. Anyway,
Supervisor of what? I'm sorry.
we worked in $15 a week. He made.
Okay.
That was a lot of money.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway.
So this is when?
1938.
Okay. Thank you. Okay.
And then he came to the house in 1939, and all the kids were younger than I. I was next to the oldest.
Okay.
And so at that time we were living behind the house behind the tailor shop.
Okay.
And it had a back porch and it had a side porch. Well, he didn't know which door to go into.
Okay.
And the kids are waiting for him to come. All of a sudden, they kept saying, here he is, here he is. All of a sudden he knocks at the back door. And they said, here he is. I said, shut up, you little bastard. And there he was at the door. But anyway, he always tells the story, he tells it better.
Yeah. Okay.
And my mother and father, the first time they saw him, my mother looked at my father.
What are you going to do? Oh, my goodness.
Oh, so then the group got together.
Okay.
Joey, Pearl, and Jamie, your husband, the 2 family groups our age got together. We would go to Dundee's and Greenfield.
And what's that? What's Dundee's? What was that?
Tavern.
Okay.
So anyway, so they thought first of all, my husband had about $26 in the bank at the time.
Okay.
Oh, he was rich. First day.
What was that?
He was rich. First day he went out and bought a green herringbone suit, a nice shirt and tie, and a green hat. So he wore it to this night out with my terrible cousins and sisters and brother.
Okay.
But anyway, they decided they'd initiate him. So what they did, they took his hat and started pouring beer, whiskey.
They wanted to see if it was waterproof.
What was that?
They wanted to see if the hat was waterproof.
Oh my
So they poured
You did that?
a picture of beer in the hat.
Oh my goodness.
He was mad.
I can imagine.
Wouldn't say anything.
Well, he was burning his scotch.
Burning inside.
So anyway, then they started cutting his tie. They cut his tie off.
And he became really short.
The next day his hat was still stiff as a board, so he had to throw it out. Another time, we went to my brother's house. He was newly married, so Joey, Pearl, myself, and my husband went to visit my brother and his wife. So my husband had new shoes on, and they were tight, so he took them off. Threw during the evening. It was time to come home. They couldn't find the shoes. That stinker and my brother took it into the kitchen, filled the sink with water, had his shoes float in the water.
They wanted to see if the shoes
That was clean fun.
Absolutely.
He never wore a hat after that.
Oh my goodness.
He stayed.
Yeah.
I guess we were married 59 years.
God bless you. Wow. That's fabulous.
Raymond just turned 90.
Wow.
He married a child bride.
State your name.
Joe DiGirolamo.
Okay.
This is during the war years.
Okay.
Well, before the war, my father and my uncle were great admirers of Benito Mussolini.
Okay.
Was it nearly natural, all he did there?
Well, many people were, yes.
Then the war came and the Italians hooked up with Hitler. My uncle, he had a bust home with Mussolini.
Okay. Where did he get it?
Oh, before the war, you get all that stuff, you know. Because the war came, you hid that stuff, bury it.
Okay.
So my kid brother, he's 20 years younger than I am.
Okay.
A little brat.
Yeah, where was it buried?
In the coal bin.
Uh-huh.
His father hid it in the coal bin.
This is here in Montclair.
Yeah. So they had in school the what do they call it?
Show and tell.
So what does he do? He brings Mussolini, he digs it out, brings Mussolini's butt.
What year is this?
42, 43, you know.
Okay.
And when the teacher saw that, you know, she didn't know what the heck to do. So she told Vincent, take it home, bring it home. They brought it home. My father yelled at him. It was wasted, yelling at Vincent. And that's when the bust was busted, man, and thrown away.
Isn't that something? What was that? What was that?
I think he buried it in the backyard. He broke it up into pieces and buried it.
Really, really, really. Okay. Did, to your knowledge, did before Italy sided with Germany in the war, to your knowledge, did Italian Americans in this area get together to speak about, you know, current events and even acknowledge understandable support for Italy before, you know, the change in politics?
Before the war started, a lot of the Italian people got their jewelry, rings, neck gold,
right,
and sent them to Italy to help the expenses of the war.
Absolutely, right, right. Did that happen here in Montclair?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
It did. It did.
That happened, I guess, all over the country.
Sure it did, of course. Of course.
And then, of course, when they hooked up with Hitler, everybody shut their mouths and talk about Mussolini.
Of course, of course. And I understand many Italian American soldiers fought, obviously, for America and actually died on Italian soil.
Oh, yes, they did. I mean, half of the Italian army during the war, near the end of the war, went with the Americans.
Yes, yes, yes.
The Germans went through Italy on their own because the Italian soldiers had all left.
Yes, yes. Go ahead.
Okay. During the Depression, well, as I told you before, there were two families and a slew of kids.
Right.
But we used to get these hobos that would come to the door for food.
Okay.
And my mother and my aunt always fed them.
Right.
And let them come into the house. But then some of the older ones in the family suggested keep them out on the porch and feed them because you never know what they might do. But they always, even our neighbors were fed. The kids, there's some of the adults now who were kids then.
Yes.
Will still remark about coming in after school.
Tea and cocoa.
For tea and cocoa. We always had tea and cocoa and either a baked product or stale bread
Okay.
and soaked and made panagua.
Oh, yes. Yes. Delicious.
And they still talk about it.
Yes, yes.
And there's some people, I just met one of my chums about 5 or 6 months ago, who lived down by me. And he even remarked about, he was, Milan. And he remarked about getting us sending food to their house.
Right, right.
And sending us homemade sauce.
That's great.
Yeah.
So, can anybody here at the table tell me what do you call the red substance that's put on pasta? Do you call it sauce or do you call it gravy? Okay. See, I'm from Central Jersey and we call it sauce. Who's right?
I don't know whether anybody has said this.
Okay.
The Italian families, every Sunday, you had your gravy. And
why is it called gravy though?
Gravy and macaroni.
Okay.
And to make the gravy, there were always meatballs fried.
Yes, yes, okay.
And the smell would just go through the house.
Oh.
And any of the kids that you had at home,
Okay.
oh yeah, but I mean the meatballs, they would come and they would eat them before they even got into the gravy.
That's great, that's
That
great.
was just a Sunday morning ritual.
Wonderful.
That smell of meatballs fried, but nothing better.
What time would they start the gravy?
Oh, you start the gravy about 10 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
So that you'd have it about 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
After Mass, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Definitely came from Italy.
That is gravy.
Gravy.
Okay, and how do you know that?
Because my mother told me that.
Okay. That's good enough for me. And what's in your tomato sauce?
What do you mean?
Is there a particular recipe that your family? We just spoke about the
There are
meatball.
so many recipes.
Right.
You don't know whose is better because
Of course, they're all good. They're all good. What's yours?
Right. And on Sunday, I have my family running up to my house, grabbing meatballs, sandwiches, and my grandson, my son-in-law, and all. So I've got to make that gravy on Sunday.
Okay.
And then I make a roast for the afternoon.
Okay.
But everybody's recipe is different between the tomato paste, tomato sauce, the oil and stuff from that going into the red sauce.
Yep.
It's gravy.
Okay. So I have it on tape. So what's the other kind of gravy?
The other kind of gravy is marinara sauce without meat.
Okay.
And it's delicious.
Talking about the canning of tomatoes.
My husband got like 6 bushels of tomatoes, and we left them in the garage. And then on the Monday that we were going to do, my daughter-in-law came over with my 2 grandkids. My grandson's 6 and my granddaughter's 4. And they helped me. The cases of tomatoes were so heavy, so we had a little wagon, their wagon. I put the thing on, and they helped me steer it down into the basement.
Okay.
Steps and wheel it, and we wheeled it into the bathroom. And then the kids helped. They cut the tomatoes up and put them in the sink.
Okay.
And I washed them. I had a big towel and I put them on the towel. And then after they were washed, we had this big bowl and we take them to the table and we pour them.
Okay.
And cut them up.
Okay.
And then we cook them down.
You peel them? No, you don't peel them. Okay.
We cook them down, and when they're cooked, I put them in the blender. I have the jars I put in the dishwasher to sterilize them. I fill the jars, seal them, and then I boil them for 45 minutes.
Okay.
And when they cool off, that's when I store them. And the lady taught me not to use them like you do them in September or late August.
Right.
Not to use them until October. For whatever reason.
Wait a month or so. Okay.
It was all by hand. They used to peel them.
Okay.
You have blenders, you don't have to peel them, and you put them in a blender.
You just, you cover it, right.
So it's ready.
Right. Do you have a special recipe, Molly?
No, I don't can them. When I make fresh tomatoes, that's the way I do.
Okay.
I put them in the blender with the garlic and the basil.
Okay.
Very little salt if I use any. I don't.
What were you saying?
My mother, I think, was 10 years of age.
Everybody wants example.
And Tom, the former police chief of Montclair, his father his grandfather, no.
My father.
His father
Uh-huh.
was only about 3 years old, and my mother used to babysit for his father
In Italy.
in Italy.
So is there some connection? I mean, who came first? How did that work? So they reunited, sort of, they saw each other again here.
Right.
Wow. Who came first? Do you recall?
To be honest with you,
Wait, okay, first what?
from Italy, my mother right.
Oh, okay, yeah. And in your case?
My father.
Okay.
There was a very renowned surgeon in the 30s and 40s, and he happened to come from Cheram in Sicily.
What was his name?
His name was Dr. Prestafilippo,
Oh, I've seen that in the papers. Okay.
and he was one hell of a surgeon. And
What was that? What was that, Matilda?
Never mind.
Okay.
whatever he was a
Yes.
hell of a surgeon.
Yes.
And
I remember the name. Yeah.
and he was responsible for, I think, my grandfather and my father coming to
here.
Montclair.
Yes.
Dr. Prestafilippo was the head surgeon at St. Vincent's Hospital
Really?
on Elm Street.
Okay.
Down the front.
I understand. Okay.
And Dr. Prestafilippo had he had a number of apartment buildings, and he owned 55 Grove Street, which he made my grandfather. They used to call him Mulanida. Mulanida.
Mulanid.
I don't know.
Who was called Mulanid?
My grandfather.
Your grandfather.
Anyway, my grandfather and my grandmother were named superintendents of 55 Grove Street by Dr. Prestafilippo.
I see.
Because he knew my grandfather from over in Sicily.
I see. Oh, that's nice.
And then I guess there was a mush there made between my mother and my father.
There was a what? A what? A what? Ambasciata. Okay. Okay. No. We got it. Thank you.
Different dialect.
I'm sure it is. Yeah.
My father came over from Sicily, and he originated in the Bronx. They were in the Bronx, but somehow he was introduced to my mother in Montclair.
Okay.
And they married, and Dr. Prestafilippo made my father the maintenance man at St. Vincent's Hospital.
No kidding.
So my father was the maintenance man at St. Vincent's, and my grandfather was he was a gardener.
Right.
And he used to, one thing I remember about my grandfather, he used to be famous for taking like a fig tree, an apple tree, and he'd take twigs from each of them and he crossed them.
Yes. Oh, really?
He was famous for that.
You do anything with my fig tree keeps dying out there.
Oh, I love figs too.
Oh, figs are fabulous.
Since my father died, forget it.
But Dr. Prestafilippo used to have a house on Leverage Avenue, and we used to call it the Big House.
Ah.
If you went up to the big, you remember the big house? If you went up to the grounds of the Big House,
Yes.
there was a lot of ground up there, and in the middle of the grounds, he had a big Italian fountain, like you see in Rome.
Really?
He had it built. Where Rogers did.
Right across from the.
Isn't that where they had the love matches?
What was that, Molly?
No.
Oh, come on.
No, I don't know.
Come on, what did you say?
Didn't they have what goings on? Yeah.
The what?
At the Big House.
They had the what?
Oh, and how? Really?
I tell you, what I remember of the Big House is that they used to all congregate up there, and they used to play cards. I mean,
Who's they? Who went up there?
Dr. Prestafilippo and his inner circle or inner sanctum.
Where did they live, though? I mean,
They lived in the
No, they're not called Donna. They're called Donna.
My grandfather happened to be in the
in the group. Yeah.
group. And I used to go up there to walk around, play around. And I used to be fascinated by it. I remember that fountain, like you said, it was as beautiful as you see in Rome.
Sure.
That's all gone now.
Right.
It's all not
So there are couple community. So there's like a couple Italian American enclaves in the Italian American community.
Yes.
Right? There's like 3 or more. Yeah. No, it's interesting. What, Marguerite? What were you saying?
They would call them Donna because they do sewing and whatnot.
Who did?
Name of distinction.
Right. So start again, please,
The
Mary.
Palm Hotel on Palermo, my husband and Nick and I, and we wanted to find out what time Mass was at the Basilica on Sunday. So we went downstairs, there was this big palm, like right in the center of the desk there, in the main lobby. We were on this side of the palm, and we were asking the guy what time church was on Sunday at the Basilica. And around the palm on the other side, we heard someone saying, "How do you call the United States from your room?" And my husband perked up right away. He looked around the corner and he saw Tommy and he went, "So what's the matter? You don't know how to use the damn phone?" We met him in Sicily. We didn't know he was going to be there. He didn't know we were going to be there.
Oh, you're kidding! Oh, that's something.
To top that story off, we said, listen, come to dinner tonight.
Right.
So we were on a tour. So our dinner was all gratis, all on the house.
Okay.
So anyway, Nick, they came to dinner with us. They sat at the table, and lo and behold, at the end of the night, they got a bill for about $60, $70. They had to pay for their dinner.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that's funny. What year was this about?
A couple of years ago.
Oh, that's nice.
But it was so funny. My husband, as soon as he heard the voice, he knew it was Tommy. Well, then we went and said, "Come to." I said, "I'll show you how to do it. We'll come up to the room." So now he's with another couple that we know. So he calls him up in his room, and he said to him, he was in the shower. Tommy told his wife, "As soon as he gets out of the shower, tell him to come to my room. It's very important."
Right.
So when this guy knocked on the door, my husband answered the door.
Oh my gosh, that's great. Thanks.
Chris Geronimo.
Okay.
My stories are just that I was a bad egg when I was a kid.
This is his
And this is my leader right there.
Oh, partner in trouble, huh? Okay.
About the time you took him out of my new house. Oh yeah, well, Danny was the driver. I think it was about 14. He took his new car for a ride.
Okay. What kind of car was it?
A Packard.
A Packard, okay.
Then about 11:30 at night, the doorbell rings. This kid's got a police uniform. He said,
Who? What's this? He had
who owns that Packard out there?
Okay.
I said, "Hey, Buddy Cupper, that's my car." He said, "I've been chasing you all over Montclair." For what? I've been here for 4 hours.
Oh my gosh.
Hell no, he says. I couldn't catch this car.
My father and I
stole my green with joyride.
Brandon Model T Ford.
I'm sorry, say that again?
His father and my father, they owned the Model T Ford.
Oh, wow.
Out in the garage. Painters were painting the house. So we went there after they went home and painted the car all white.
Oh my God.
These two guys. How old were you then?
Inside and outside.
You're kidding, right?
No, we're not kidding.
They're not kidding?
How old were you?
It looked like a hearse.
Oh my
What
God.
happened to you?
They figured we were too bad. No one had a beat.
How old were you?
I don't know, about 8. No, less.
Whoa. So young to be stirring trouble.
Yeah, well, painted the seat, windows. He was the boss of everything.
Oh, really? He was the leader of the band?
No, he was a troublemaker.
So some other stories. Come on.
You told a story about Vincent at the hospital. I told him the story. You told him the story about
Yeah. We have that one.
I got a story. I don't see much Danny remembers this one.
Go ahead.
One day, because everybody, there was like 13 families lived like on one block, our relatives. And we used to play, in the different yards. And behind the yard was a brook. We used to go through. So one day, it was probably your son or Raymond. They were always the ringleaders of everything. They told us that the brook went to the hospital and that they used the water at the hospital. So what the hell we know? So we were to clean the brook. So you remember we spent the whole day, we had pulley systems, we took every rock in a stretch between the two yards, between your yard and the other yard. You came home from work and all the rocks piled up in your yard. You went crazy. What the hell are you doing? Do you remember that? And we spent the next day putting them all back in.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's cute. And where was this, Donato?
This is down the south end of Montclair. Montclair on off Orange Road.
Okay.
Behind. Well, that was what, 303? 303 Orange Road.
Who fell in the brook when I went fishing out of the brook, took him to the community hospital? Who was it?
Deaky.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. We thought he had died. I wasn't there. And he was so bad. He was so scary.
What happened? What happened?
We built a fort. They built a fort
Okay.
on the top. And what was it about? 10?
Oh, that'd be good at 10 feet.
10 feet drop into the brook from there. And he fell. Tripped off the top of the fort.
Oh my
Fell
god.
down to the brook and fell on his head.
Oh my gosh.
Scary.
When was this? When was this? Like about
6 years old.
That was probably 1956.
wow, wow, wow. Okay.
Well, Danny always liked cars. That was before one day his sister was backing on the driveway. Danny's hanging on the back bumper. Next thing, the car ran over his ear.
Oh my.
They had about 40 pellets stuck in there.
Oh my gosh.
That ear was on
Was that hanging off?
So what'd you find out?
I couldn't remember. They took the picture from me.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, you gotta have more stories.
Oh, there's somebody there you
What?
Come on.
We had another car.
Okay, another car story. Go ahead.
Years ago, they used to buy ash cans. They were made of metal.
Okay.
And you never threw one out unless the bottom fell out all the way.
Okay.
So our parents bought 4 new ones.
Okay.
And they weren't going to use those.
4? That's a lot.
I don't know, yeah, so they put them in the garage, and we had a car in there. And then Danny was behind the wheel, I was on one fender.
Again.
My cousin Albert, who was killed in the Navy, was on the other fender. And Danny was just step on the starter, but the car would jump forward, hit the cans, then put it reverse and go backwards. The garage doors were going like this. And finally, after about 10 minutes, my mother says, "Something's wrong. The garage doors keep going like this." And they come in, fellas with smashed cans.
Oh my gosh. Oh wow. So you said you were in the Navy, or no?
I was in the Navy.
You were in the Navy.
Yes. But this other cousin, he was killed in the Navy.
Oh.
He was on the other fender.
about the same age.
Okay.
in the closet.
The what?
The fire.
Oh, Danny did it.
Oh, what's this? What's this?
Clothes. Tell me about that.
Oh, we had a big closet downstairs with clothes.
And where's this though? Where? Where's this?
Oh, well, anyway.
Willowdale Avenue, number 46.
So we were looking around, hanging out in the big closet. Danny found matches.
You know, how did I know? Okay, go ahead.
And he knew how to strike a match. And he hooked the dress that had strings hanging from it. And the whole closet burnt up.
Was anybody hurt?
And the customers' clothes. Our fathers had a tailor shop.
Right.
And they used to bring home the customers' clothes to deliver the next day. And they all caught on fire too.
No, we started the fire, we closed it. They had a really big closet.
And he became a fireman later. That's what he's always.
Was it? Say that again. Say that.
He became a fireman later. So that's
Oh, goodness.
And then another time, father had a box of jewelry
Oh, yeah.
closet.
Okay.
So Mr. Danny takes it out, he's going on the street and giving the jewelry out.
Real Robin Hood, huh?
He heard about it, he went out, grabbed him, tried to get some of the jewelry back.
Did they get it back?
Some of it.
Some.
On another time,
trouble.
Phew.
Danny found a cat. A big clip that somewhere.
That's your father's
And had a name Mike on it.
My father's cat.
Every time I said, Dan, that's not your head. Said, that's my head. Danny said, no, that's my head. Mike, that's my name, Mike.
Oh, that's
I
funny.
like the hat, the brand new hat.
Why not? Why
I
not?
wrote Mike on it.
Being a reader.
That was Donnie's father's.
Okay.
And one time, Danny and I and another friend were working in a food fair.
What's this? A food fair? What for what? For what?
Big grocery chain.
Okay. Okay.
And we were working vending machines, ended up in grocery.
Okay.
But they used to ring a bell when they wanted a checker to come out.
Okay.
So we used to hide, we didn't want to come out. So finally the boss calls and he says to me, he says, you're like a cockroach, when you go to step on him, you're not there. Danny and Lady were working the other checker. I said, the boss just called me a cockroach. He said, you did? I told him I quit. He said, we quit. We all walked out.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
Little dog, we called him, what did we call Buddy, I guess his name was. So one time, Danny and Chris, this and that, were in the bathroom with the dog. And my mother could hear the dog yelling. They opened the door, the dog come running out, crapping all over the place. They had given her an enema.
Oh no!
That's how Mike said.
Let me tell you, that as much as all of the family, right, that they had, the mom and pop or the two mothers had room for the neighbors.
You were a neighbor?
Yeah,
You were a neighbor?
A neighbor, right? Our backyard was their backyard.
Okay, okay. What's your name? What's your name?
Danny, Mike Ponticio.
Okay.
All right. Danny and Chris were buddies.
Okay.
Mom would have coffee and bread for us. I like coffee. So I go over to the D's, and Mom would have a big pot on the stove going all the time, and she would have the margarine. It was the white butter that you put the coloring in.
The what?
All right. All right. And then we would have that, and she'd always tell you to sit down and have cocoa.
That's great.
And man, I tell you, that was a treat, and the cocoa. I mean, yeah.
Big treat, sure.
Oh yeah, because coffee was all we had in the house. What cocoa? Who could afford cocoa?
Right.
That I got treated because the Taylors had the cocoa, right? But always had room for the little kids in the neighborhood.
That's nice. That's nice.
As many children as they had, the two sisters had room for them.
There was always room for more.
All the time.
That's fabulous. That's fabulous. And what years are we talking?
Oh my God. Got to be what, in the 20s? No, in the 20s. In the 20s.
1880.
22. I was born 22. You guys were what, 23?
Wow. Yeah.
So it had to be in the 20s.
I'll tell you a story when I used to play a saxophone.
Please do. Go ahead. Oh, sorry.
I was lousy. Well, we had a professor.
Professor Land.
No, not that one, another one. That was Charlie Chabad. He only showed up to give you lessons when it was time to eat. The lessons were expensive, 50 cents. So I'm trying to play a saxophone like I couldn't play anyway.
How old were you?
12.
Okay. Okay.
One day he comes and he says, play. I had the saxophone and I'm blowing. My cheeks are gonna bust. Nothing come out.
Hit you on the head.
No, that's bingo. Oh, so then he says, I said, play. I said, nothing comes out. They called my father. Said, no, come in. My father comes in and he says, Chris, play. And my father hits me. 1, 2, 3. He said, play. Nothing comes out. So the professor put his hand in the saxophone. He pulled out a rag about that. My brothers put it in. They stuffed it up the saxophone.
So nothing came out. Oh.
Here's another one. Mr. Danny over here.
I knew it. Okay.
I
knew it. I'm starting to understand the dynamics here.
He was taking clarinet lessons.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
Stuff too.
You're right. So anyhow, So the kids used to come home from school,
Okay.
get a sandwich, and go up to the tailor shop.
Okay.
And so, one week, my father said, "But Danny practiced?" She said, "Oh yeah." Next day, Danny practiced? Yeah. What, for 5 days? So my father said, "How could Danny practice? The clarinet's been at the tailor shop all the time."
Okay, go ahead, please.
Okay, I'm Uncle Buddy, and I'm an outlaw in this family.
Why is that? Why?
The last 44 years I've been paying mortgages, communions, confirmations, weddings, baptisms, everything. The main story I wanted to tell you, you hear all these guys talking about instruments. Well, their father only prayed that they could play something. None of them could even carry a sheet of music across the room. But now, thank God, all the great-grandchildren are playing instruments now.
Oh, that's nice.
And we have enough, I think they're going to have their own band.
That's great. That's great.
We call it the D's.
The D's.
Did Buddy tell you about his wife and Arena when she played the
piano?